Welcome to Downtown Ornamental Iron, Bend, Oregon. This is Ron. We're going to do a little video on inflating steel. We're going to do some fish and show you how the process of that works. It's pretty interesting, so stay tuned. Okay, our first part is, what we like to do is make a pattern. We have this older plasma machine that works good off paper patterns, and some of this art stuff's kind of fun to do that. So what we do is made a pattern of a fish here, and we'll need to cut out 2 pieces of that. By having it on, doing them on a pattern plasma or something like that, it's kind of nice because the pieces are exactly the same size, same shape, which helps you when you go to weld it all together. It's nice to be able to just put it together and weld all the corners and everything. It saves a lot of time than trying to weld up holes and stuff, so that works really good. So he's going to go ahead and cut it out now. One thing to remember is we're using a 14 gauge sheet metal. Just remember, in case you come up with some galvanized stuff, of course you don't want to use that. Do any of that thin metal that's galvanized for any of this stuff. Okay, here's what the fish looks like after we cut it using our pattern. This is one side of it. Okay, we're going to take it from here in our shop over to our forging area and continue on. Okay, here's one of our fish ready to inflate. What we've done is we bring it over here, we sand them up on the edges. They weld together a little better, our 2 plates. As you can see, this one's all been welded and sanded down a little bit to clean it up. We take a tube, we just flatten the end of the tube out and we put it in. Before we weld the 2 pieces together, we kind of make an opening there and put it in there, and it doesn't take much room at all. And then on the other end of that tube, we have an air chuck. This works good for putting our air on. You'll see later why we do it that way. That seems to work really good for inflating it. Just make sure when you heat it up on the forge that that's open, so that there's no we're not trapping any gases or any air inside this thing. And then so we take our 2 halves, weld them together, clean them up, put our inflator tube in, and then we're ready to heat her up. Okay, here's our fish, in this case in the forge, and what we're doing is heating it up. What you heat is what's going to puff up. So if you only heat one end of it, that's all that's going to blow up. So we try to, on this particular size of fish, works pretty good where we can get everything we want to blow up in one heating. You can put it back in, you can blow up some, put it back in, heat another area and blow up that area as well. That works pretty good, but I think it works better if you blow up everything you want to blow up all at once. You can actually take a torch to it and heat up little areas, and they'll blow up too, but this seems to work the best. So we're just going to heat it up here. We'll turn it over at some point and get her all nice and hot. The little stem works good for a handle on there, the little pipe. That makes it kind of nice, gives you something to hold on to, and we'll use that for clamping it in the vise in a moment here. Okay, here's our fish is all heated up now. It's nice and red, and I think that's the right temperature. We get it pretty hot. If you keep it in too long, of course, it kind of melts it out. Okay, Sky. And then we're going to take it out of there, and the way we do it, we put it in here into this vise, and I'll try to get it where you can actually see it blowing up here or inflating. So we screw on our air chuck. It works pretty good that way, and she's going to put the air to it right now. See, it's blowing up, nice, easily controlled. There you go. So you can blow them up whatever you want to, as far as you want to go. There's a side shot of it there. That's a good time to take the wire brush to it. It looks pretty good if you do that now while it's red hot, of course. But it didn't take much air doing that. It just takes a little bit. But it works better having the air fitting on it than just holding it in a tube. It's pretty hard to get the air pressure to the fish then. without having a little bigger chamber in there. But this seems to work really good. It's real controllable. You just squeeze the air a little bit and it just puffs right up. And just remember, it'll puff up where it's heated at. So if you don't want the head or the tail or anything to puff up, don't heat them up. Okay, here's one of the fish all heated and blown up. You can see the little spot on there where the tube was. We don't leave a very big hole. It doesn't take much. And then we just take it off. You can sand that out and pound it back together, and you won't even know it's there. But it's pretty easy deal to do. You just cut that off. We just reuse our tubes over and over. We just make them long enough the first time, and we just cut them off, and we use a ½ inch maybe each time we do it, and it works pretty good. And at this point, we could take and we can cut in its mouth, or cut in its eyes, or dimple the eyes or something. And you could heat it to do that if you want, or you can do it cold. Works pretty good. You could drill a hole there, whatever. You can cut into it now. We'll take this one and we're gonna put a little wave in the tail and some fins and stuff like that a little bit. But that one's pretty much ready. That one's pretty much ready to go into the tumbler now. Okay, this is another heart that we're gonna inflate this heart. See the steam coming out? This is why you want to have this open. We water checked this one for leaks a while ago, and there's still some water, a little bit of moisture inside there, so you definitely you want to have this fitting on the end opened up. You could reverse the fitting around and do it the other way, which would leave that open, other than our air chuck worked better this way, so that's why we're doing it this way. But we're going to heat this one up here, and we'll inflate that. Okay, when you're heating these up, sometimes it's good to flip them over. They seem to get hotter on the side closest to flames, but it does heat both sides really good. And it seems like it's pretty even, but maybe not quite. We usually flip them, and it seems to be pretty even that way. All right, go ahead, Sky. We're going to pull this one out now, this heart, and inflate it up. So you're putting it in the vise here, and we'll be down here where we can kind of see it puff up again. And so, and just you know, a little bit of air it goes a long ways. Okay, go ahead. Okay, this one we had a blowout, and you can see, well, this is actually pretty interesting because you can see what happens if you don't weld her up tight. She actually had it welded up tight, but I made her sand her down a little bit more, and so we sanded through the welds, it looks like. And you can see it tried to go, but just that little bit of air leaking out pretty much stops it, so having it airtight is a good thing. So we won't blow that one up, but it was a good idea to see what happens when you have an air hole.